Hey everybody, today we're going to be making an herbal infusion. What is that? It's kind of like a tea. Okay? And what I'm making here today is lemon balm. And the way that I typically do this is you're supposed to put an ounce of herb into a jar with water. So you could weigh that out and do that. I'm going to be using less of this herb. This is lemon balm for this particular application that I'm using it. So I would say for any herb you're going to be doing an infusion of, read about it and see what the medicinal qualities are of the herb. And so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be taking some of this herb and pouring it in this jar. Now, certainly less than an ounce, but for this particular person and the application I'm using it for, I am using less. A lot of times with herbs, I believe myself, start with less and build up until you get the desired result. And less is more most of the time in my book. Anyhow, so I put my herbs in there. And what I've done here is I have a glass jar that is sitting in some hot water. I'm going to be pouring the boiling water in here in a second, but what I try to do is preheat the jar a little bit so that it's not such a shock when the hot water goes in, because I've had a couple of these break. So I got some water that I boiled. I am simply going to pour it in a little bit. Get myself a spoon, stir it around. Pour some more in. And I am going to then cover this with a top. You could use the plastic tops. I'm using in this particular one, because it's close by, it's the standard 3-piece top. Okay, so now what you're going to do with this is you're going to let it sit a minimum of 4 hours. And once you let that sit a minimum of 4 hours, you are then going to strain it. Now, me personally, I let this sit overnight. And then in the morning, I get myself a jelly bag. Here's a jelly bag. And I put it in one of these Chinese style containers for soup. And I strain it, squeeze it, pour it back into the jar. And then what I do is I sweeten it a little bit. In this case, what I'm doing, you don't have to sweeten it. It's a tea and you could just drink it, okay? But what I'm doing is I am taking this and I'm going to add a little bit of my elderberry syrup that I made. I made a video about a year ago, show you how to make that. This is elderberry syrup. And I mix a little bit of that in there, shake it up, and you have a very nice tasting herbal infusion that I've mixed a little bit of the elderberry in. And if you do some research on lemon balm, again, none of these statements are evaluated by the FDA and blah blah blah, but if you do some research according to folklore, it is a strong antiviral, and you add that to another strong antiviral, the elderberry, and you have something that could potentially, hypothetically, be used as a flu remedy. And flu season's coming up, and everybody's in the malls and everything, shopping around the holiday season, coughing, and there's a lot of concentration of people, so a lot of times what happens is people are sick and they pass their germs on to everybody else. And if you start thinking about this now and taking preventative measures to keep your immune system strong, you can theoretically, possibly circumvent getting the flu or other infections. You know, the elderberry is very good for that sort of things, according to folklore. You know, and I'm sure the pharmaceutical companies will not agree with that, but okay. So, and so this is what you have. Okay, again, 4 hours minimum, overnight preferred. Strain it, and you have yourself a nice herbal infusion. Okay, for my second herbal infusion, I am going to take a tea bag of chamomile. This is a chamomile tea bag, organic chamomile. And I am going to pour it in this teacup. And I am going to cover it. Alright. There you have it. Let that sit until it cools off. And you might be saying, hey Prince, what do you mean? That's herbal medicine? It looks like you just made tea. I make tea all the time. Well, guess what? That is herbal medicine. It's so simple you can do it. Okay, so what are you going to use that for? Well, there's a lot of things you could use that for. You let it cool off completely, and it can be used for things like pink eye, a natural home remedy for pink eye. Some people put the tea bag directly on their eye after it cools off, and other people take the tea and they put it in an eye cup and rinse with it. It's good for styes and things like that. Of course, again, according to folklore, but where I've learned that from and about using chamomile for your eyes is learningherbs.com. I'm a student of the Herb Mentor program over there, where over the past bunch of years I've learned how, according to folklore, that, you know, herbal medicines have been used for centuries to, you know, help people out with problems. So if I wanted to use that for pink eye, what I would do is let it cool off, squeeze out the bag, and take some of that, put it in an eye cup, and rinse your eyes with it. It works really well as far as that's concerned, and things like, you know, styes and other kind of things having to do with your eyes. Again, I'm not an eye doctor. Don't take my word for it. Use this at your own risk. But, you know, just because people for centuries have been doing this and, you know, not having any problems at all, doesn't mean that, you know, you should take my word for it or anybody else's word for it. But, you know, see your doctor. Anyhow, my disclaimer's out of the way. That's Herbal Infusions. Alright, that's it. It's easy. Anybody could do this. You can do it too. Anybody could do it. If I could do it, you can do it. So do it. Alright, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And if, listen, if any of this stuff that I'm showing you is helpful for you and your family, please use it and tell your friends about it, you know, and tell your family members about it, and teach your kids how to do this kind of stuff. Pass down this kind of wisdom, because this wisdom will be lost someday if you don't pass it down. There's a lot of good books out there. There's a lot of good programs out there that you can learn herbalism. But, you know, definitely, if you learn something from me or from anybody that's really good and helps you and your family out, definitely pass that knowledge down. Show your kids how to make this kind of stuff. And, you know, tell your friends. Say, hey, you know, I happened to use this and it worked. You know, let's say hypothetically, I didn't get the flu this year and this is the first time I've used it. And, you know, or I had the flu and, it, you know, I got rid of it really quick. And, you know, if it works for you, say, hey, tell people. And, you know, you might be surprised. Somebody might actually try it and it might make things better for them. So go for it. Share the wealth, share the wisdom. And, you know, hopefully we can make the world a better place. Anyhow, this is me, Sicilian Prince, signing out. And enjoy. Hope you learned something here. Take care. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my video channel here on YouTube, and check out my blog at www.cooking-italian-recipes.com for great Italian recipes, tips on organic gardening, winemaking, and herbalism, and all other kind of fun stuff that I'm into. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, tell your friends. Take care.